So I'm really enthusiastic about this, but you might be asking yourself, why is this the best time in history to become a freelance writer? Well, the answer is because there's so many great pieces of software that can do the majority of the heavy lifting for you. And when it comes to writing today, there's a few key pieces of software that you're going to use to make your life easier and help you build your freelance writing business faster. The first are going to be AI writing tools like ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is a free AI chatbot software that can do everything from write full blogs and add copy to help you with research for the post that you're writing. It's really incredible. There's so many different use cases for ChatGPT. I can't even get into all of it here, but I'm going to release several other courses on how to use it to maximize not only your writing, but whatever you're trying to build and grow and create online. The second big piece of software that you're going to need as a writer is a keyword research tool. And the one that we're going to be covering in this, which is also free, is Google Keyword Planner. To get Google Keyword Planner, you can sign up for a free Google Ads account, and they might ask you to punch in a credit card just so that you can open up an account. You do not need to spend any money on Google to use Keyword Planner. It's totally free, but this is what's going to help us find and mine the keywords that we're going to use to write your pieces of content. And as you probably well know from using Google, keywords are everything online. Everything starts at search and the words that people punch in to Google to find the information they're looking for, the problems, their solutions, and the answers to their questions. So now we've got our AI and our keyword research tool. The third, which is going to help you write error-free writing, are going to be tools like Grammarly Premium. Another one that I really love is Pro Writing Aid. I probably use them about equally in terms of time split. I love Grammarly because they have a plugin or an extension that sits right in my Google Chrome, and it scans everything I write. It helps me write, like I said, error-free. It helps me with word substitutions. It'll help you with clarity. It'll help you clean up your writing, break up complex or compound sentences if you need to shorten things up or make them concise. I use them in my email. I use them in my writing for my clients. I use Grammarly everywhere and Pro Writing Aid as well. So we'll discuss the value of these and how we'll be using these in this course. And these are the three main big ones right here in terms of the pieces of software we're going to use. The fourth that we're going to use is SEO software. And this will be what's built into the platform that you decide to build your website or portfolio on. And I'm going to highly recommend that you do that on WordPress just because the majority of the internet is built on WordPress sites, I think between 40 and 50% at the time that I'm recording this. So it's really good to know how to use WordPress, build a site on it, and use the SEO tools in there. But we'll be covering a couple other tools as well. We'll also be covering other great AI writing tools and some other great keyword tools as well. So without further ado, let's jump in and let's talk a little bit more about these tools and how you're going to use them. So one of the most important things you can do as a writer or aspiring freelance writer is make sure that you pick the right industry, niche, or topic that you want to get into. I always tell new writers that why would you commit a ton of time learning a new skill in a specific area, niche, or industry unless you make sure that the industry can pay you well first? So ideally, you want to pick a high-paying topic that you already have some experience in. But if you don't, that's totally fine. One thing that a lot of people don't know is that writing is a really fast way of learning a lot of things. And you'll see that you begin to find your own process and approach to how you learn and use writing to learn. But when you're reading about a topic and then writing about a topic, you're ingesting a lot of information very quickly. So whether you decide to pick a niche in writing that you might be comfortable with, if you pick something from a previous job or career, maybe your formal education, you just decide to dip your toes into the writing pool to make money that way. Or if you want to totally master writing and a new niche or industry that's higher paying, you can do that as well. And one thing that I wanted to cover, there's a really quick and easy way, is to verify the industries that pay really well and the topics that pay really well. You can use Google, you can use Indeed, Glassdoor. ZipRecruiter's got a handy salary estimator tool, which will give you national averages and I think even state averages too. And one thing that's also really cool is that ChatGPT is a great shortcut for this too. So we're just going to run a prompt in ChatGPT and treat it like a conversation and ask it a question of what are the top paying topics, niches, and industries for freelance writers. We'll see what it comes back to us with. So you can see it's already gone to work here with 7 really quick topics. So we've got technology, makes total sense. Finance is another great niche. I've written in both of these before with clients. These were some of my higher paying clients that I've had. Health and wellness or anything nutrition or fitness related. This is always a high demand niche. I feel like out of, everybody on the planet, everybody wants to be more fit and have more money. So it makes sense that these would be some of the top ones. Marketing and advertising, as the internet and social internet and search keeps getting bigger and better. Companies want to make more money, and they need more solutions for marketing their business or website to do that. We have education. That's one that I've rarely written for, actually. That's something that's kind of surprising for me, but I think it's a great one, especially with all the online learning tools out there like Udemy, Skillshare, all the free learning you can do on YouTube. There's tons of great information out there education-wise. Travel is one that consistently pops up. I've written for travel blogs before. In this country and then internationally and abroad too. It was a lot of fun to write in travel, and I've also written for news. And then real estate and home building is another huge one. That's another one I've had experience in, and that's a lot of fun because you get to learn a lot about different locations, regions, cities, things like that. And so these are just a handful. And what's great about ChatGPT is we can even use it to ask for a few more. So what are some other options? Let's see what it comes back with. So legal, politics and government, science and technology, beauty and fashion, food and beverage. Okay, awesome. All great choices. And let's ask it, how about another 10 areas? See what it comes up with. So you can see with ChatGPT, it's a great research tool that you can use here. Like I'm punching in these questions and it's literally pulling from, I think it's, at the time I'm recording this, like 100 trillion different data points and probably search results on Google to be able to deliver this information. So we've got some new ones here too. We've got environmental and sustainability. That's a great one to get into. Sports, parenting and family, entertainment and pop culture, history. That's something I've written in before and had a lot of fun with that. Education tech. This has been another growing niche over the last few years. Personal development's always going to be a big one. Freelancing and entrepreneurship, how funny. That's why we're all here taking this course and why I'm teaching it. Social media and digital marketing, another great one, but we just saw previously. And then human resources is good too. And what's even better, so you guys are already starting to grasp that without even going into Google or Indeed or ZipRecruiter or these other great search tools that can help us gauge where the most lucrative writing areas are. You can do a lot of this search right in ChatGPT and it'll give you feedback here. So another great tool I like using, a prompt that I could use with ChatGPT is asking it, can you give me a pay range for these industries? And then I'm going to say, can you make that a numbered or a bulleted list? We'll see what it comes up with. Awesome. And so keep in mind, when you're using ChatGPT, it's referencing everything else up to this point in the conversation as well. So it's giving us hourly estimations for freelance writers. And you can see that these rates, I'm assuming that it's probably pulling across the United States for freelancing rates. This is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, you're seeing tech, $75 to $150 an hour, finance, $50 to $150, health and wellness, $50 to $125. Now, I'm going to assume here that it's referencing the low end for newer, more novice writers, all the way up to the highest end for more experienced writers, maybe even in for things like legal, somebody who has a graduate degree, but probably not. This is actually a niche that I've made really decent money in as a freelance writer toward the upper end of that range, which has been great. Science and tech, that makes sense. That's something that also might require a graduate degree. It might not. So you can get an idea of pay ranges in here too. And then if you want to break that out even further, you can ask it, what about, if you're a brand new freelance writer, what about for beginner freelance writers? Oh, and it looks like we had a little network error. And this happens from time to time, but you see that I just regenerated here and it came out. So it had a little trouble with this output, it seems like. but it's still giving some broad ranges here for different areas. So content mills and low paying jobs, 10 to 25 an hour. I actually cut my teeth at a content mill for a while, and it was a really amazing writing experience. I probably wrote for them for a little too long, but it really leveled up my writing skills and SEO skills really fast over a very short period of time in writing for a lot of different clients. So these are just some examples of how you can use ChatGPT to do some of that research for what are some of the niches that you might want to write in as a writer. And another thing I might recommend too is, so now you've gotten kind of a survey of the landscape of how much these various niches and industry pays. Another thing I do is just punch in what your work experience is and then ask, how much money do writers make in those industries. So say that your background is in, let's say finance, for instance. Say I have a background in finance, and I'd like to become a new freelance finance writer. How much money could I make in this position? Let's just give that a shot. So there we go again. It's pulling those ranges for you. It's also giving you options for per project, per word, per article rates. And you can say, thanks, what are the per word rates I could charge as a new freelance writer? And let's just see what it'll come back with. So there you go. It even gives you per word rates. And what I love about using ChatGPT to kind of do this initial and upfront research, it takes some of the guesswork out of it. You don't have to decide to get really deep into a niche and to learn everything about it, only to get to a market and find that it's either really competitive and you can't find a job, or the rates aren't really great in it. You can do all this research, and I highly recommend doing all this research on the front end to find out what your existing skills pay in the context of writing and freelance writing, and then also what some other skills pay that you're interested in. And if I can encourage you and give you one big piece of advice, I'd say either write in something that you're already familiar with and already good at. That's going to make writing a lot easier and potentially a lot more fun for you. Or pick a niche and industry or topic that you're interested in. That's something that's going to keep you coming back to it if you enjoy what you're writing about. So this is just one way to do some of that initial research, but I honestly recommend, just for further verification, make sure you go to Indeed.com. It's one of the biggest job platforms and career platforms online. Go verify what different writers are making in various experience levels. Look at beginner rates, middle of the road writer rates, experienced writer rates, in all of the different industries that you're interested in. And I'd even recommend taking some notes or putting a little Google sheet or spreadsheet together just to kind of get an overview sheet for yourself of what these niches are and how much they pay, so then you can make your decision from there. And then you'll have plenty enough information to make an educated decision on where you want to start as a writer. And the great thing is, you don't have to commit to writing in a certain field or on a certain topic forever. So you might initially make your segue into writing with skills you already have, or an education background that you already have. And then you might you might be into finance writing for a while and say, you know what, I'm actually getting really into like more technical writing about like accounting and how people can save money on taxes, or specifically into personal finance or something like that. And then you can start to segue and make your way into these different categories and areas. But anyways, here's how you can use ChatGPT to do some of that initial research. Like I said, I recommend using those other tools too, and just Google to browse some of those rates, and enjoy, have a lot of fun looking at these. Something that you should consider before you even jump into freelance writing, whether that's for a side gig or a side hustle, or you do that part-time for extra money, or a full-time career, to keep yourself motivated, is to consider the why behind it. Why do you want to get into freelance writing in the first place? Is it you want to pick up a new skill? Is it purely because you want to make more money? If so, why do you want to make more money? Is it for savings? Are you taking a vacation? Is this for retirement? So that's one of the big things I want you to heavily consider, and take some time to do this. And even write this down or journal about it for yourself, is what's motivating you, because that's going to keep you coming back to your computer and your keyboard and the job platforms that we'll talk about later, and your clients, and keep you motivated to keep writing. And just because I thought this would be kind of a fun thought experiment, I thought we would ask ChatGPT that very question of, why do most people take up freelance writing as a, let's just say, side hustle. And so this is going to pull data from Google. And this is what's so great. These are all the reasons that I would say first why I became a freelance writer and why I still freelance. The flexibility, especially now with a lot of people in remote work, you can be totally location independent, which is great. Extra income, of course, that's why we're all here. We don't want to write for free, although you may. I do write for free in my free time in terms of journaling and just for fun and self-analysis. I really enjoy it and get a lot out of it. Pursuing a passion, which is great. Skill development, like I've said before, writing is one of the most versatile, lucrative, flexible, and adaptable skills in the job market. Every business on the planet needs a writer. Even with innovations like ChatGPT and AI writing, I use a lot of these software daily for work. And my clients, you still need writers who know how to use the software, who know how to proofread, who know how to edit, who understand SEO, who understand marketing and consumer psychology. And then we also have the entrepreneurial spirit. Maybe you're thinking about starting your own agency or your own business at some point with content marketing or freelance writing. And that's great. So that's one of the biggest things I want you, like I said, to take into heavy consideration to write about for yourself. Is the big motivation why you want to do this. And then when you really start drilling down into it, I think another way to keep yourself motivated in terms of goal setting is to set specific measurable goals that are time bound. I think this is one of the most important things for us in writing. So if you have a certain client goal or a certain income goal, probably drilling down to that dollars and cents is what's most specific. So I tend to start out a lot of new writers by saying like, okay, well, how much availability do you have each week, besides your job, daily obligations, things like that? How many hours could you feasibly set aside every week for writing? And then from there, I asked like, okay, well, and then what's your target earnings or your target income on top of that? So I just pulled up the calculator in Google here just to give you an example. So say I'm a new freelance writer and I can only write 4 hours a week, let's say. And let's say that my target weekly income is $200. So 200 divided by 4 hours. My target hourly goal is $50 an hour as a writer. Now, if you just watch that video that we talked about different industries, different niches, different topics, and what they pay writers, that $50 an hour range is going to be pretty feasible. Especially like if you go into, which I kind of recommend from my own experience of going to project rates or rates by word when you write for your clients, just because it's a little easier to gauge that way. Some topics in some industries are going to take a lot more research and a lot more time and a lot more editing and a lot more additions or add-ons to your writing. But if you keep it fairly simple, and as you start to refine your approach and get comfortable with the topics and niches and industries that you're writing about and speaking to, you're obviously going to get a lot faster, which is going to improve your hourly rate. So I just recommend you do this in the beginning, is sit down and take a feasible gauge of how many hours a week or how much time per week you actually have to commit to writing, and just do some of this basic math. Now, if you're a new writer, it may take you an hour to write a 400 or 500 word content page or a blog post that's about that length. As you get faster, you could get to the point where you're doing that same work in a half an hour. So that effectively doubles your hourly rate. And you may just want to open up a spreadsheet and run some basic formulas and some rough math, engaging like, okay, if I've got this many hours a week and this is my target income that I want to make, this is about how much I want to charge per word. And this is really going to help you down the road when you're refining your pitches and proposals for clients, because you'll be able to tell them straight out like, hey, for a project that is 1,000 words long, this is how many dollars I'm going to charge for you based on this per word rate. Or you'll know about how many hours it's going to take if you want to charge hourly, and you can quote that for them. So just some things to consider. Like I said, make sure you understand the why behind your goals and why you want to become a freelance writer. And then also get really specific with it of like, what is your target weekly or monthly income with this? Why do you want to or need to make that? And then even setting a target date in the future of like how much money you want to make or save by a certain time period, whether that's in a month, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, or next year. One of the most important assets you can have in your repertoire as a writer is your portfolio. Now, if you're like so many people who are taking this course right now, this might be your first step into writing. So you might not have a portfolio. If you do have a portfolio and you've been writing for a while, that's great. These skills will still be really helpful for you as well. And I recommend watching this and the rest of these videos on how to build one. So the reason a portfolio is so important to have as a writer is, think of it as it's selling you for you. So when you're applying or sending a proposal to a client or applying for a job, that's their first impression of you is your resume and then your portfolio. Writing's one of those cool and I feel like rare industries where your work actually just speaks for itself. I feel like sometimes you can do a good job in other industries of, writing well about your skills and acting like you seem what you know. But when push comes to shove and you get to it, you might not, but you impress them really with your writing skills, but maybe not your work skills. But writing is writing. And if you impress people with your writing skills and you're going in for a writing job, they'll be able to see what you're capable of work-wise on paper or on the screen. And just for fun again, I thought we should ask ChatGPT just to see its input of why is it important for freelance writers to have a portfolio. So there we go, demonstrating expertise, building trust with new clients, marketing yourself, setting yourself apart from other writers, and then increasing your rates. And that's a great one. We don't think about that often. But if you can show your work as a writer versus if you don't, like if you can show your clients, hey, this is what I've written about, this is who I've written for, this is where I've been featured, those things are all going to bump the rate that you can charge your client. So this is why having a portfolio is one of the most important things in your repertoire. I don't know about you. I'm not the biggest fan of sales. I love doing marketing, but I'm not a huge fan of cold calling or even pitching myself. So I decided a few years ago the best way to pitch myself passively is to build assets like a really awesome portfolio website, make sure that I had a lot of great quality performance work together and stats on what my writing had done in terms of how it's ranked on Google, impressions it's generated, clicks, like what I've been able to do for my clients. Because if you can sell your clients, prospective clients, or maybe even future employer before you even talk to them, that's going to be one of the quickest and easiest ways of winning them over before you even have a phone call with them, if you have to have a phone call with them. If you're in freelance, you may never even have to jump on the phone. A lot of these platforms like Upwork, even on Indeed, LinkedIn, Fiverr, all the other freelancing platforms, it's mostly done through the messaging system. You might have some consultation calls, but like I said, selling people on you with your portfolio before you even speak to them or message with them is one of the best and easiest ways to go about impressing prospective clients and getting work as a writer. So where should you start building or hosting your portfolio? And that's a great question that a lot of writers ask, and for a good reason. It's super important where you host your content, where you host your website, where you host your portfolio. You want to make sure it's something that's user-friendly, that's easy for search engines like Google to crawl and understand so that they can index your work a lot better if the goal and focus is on getting your content to rank. And there are a handful of great platforms out there. I feel like you've probably heard of most of them. Once again, I thought it'd be fun to ask ChatGPT before we jumped into some of my favorites. So let's ask ChatGPT, what are some of the best platforms to host your portfolio on as a freelance writer? So we have Contently, Clippings.me, Journo Portfolio. That's actually one that I use to host my portfolio. I've really loved it. It's a really simple user interface. It's really easy to import your work. Muckrack, I've heard good things. LinkedIn, another great place to write. I've seen that a lot of writers that I follow have started to write and host some work separately on LinkedIn as well as their own website. And then it says your own website here, but one of my personal favorite platforms, just because at the time I'm recording this, around 40 to 50%, I believe is the last figure that I read on the percentage of total websites on the internet that are hosted on them, are WordPress. And what's great about WordPress is they have a really simple interface set up with Bluehost. You can see this nice tab and menu up in the top left-hand corner, and you can just click on WordPress hosting and check out their plans here. So Bluehost is a hosting platform that makes it really easy to purchase hosting, buy your domain name for yourself, and then also set up your own WordPress site on a custom URL. So you might even be able to get your URL that's just yourname.com, which would be really cool, or yournamerights.com or whatever it might be. So I would highly recommend, just because it's widely used across so many industries. Like I said, it makes up the majority of websites on the web. Another great thing about writers with WordPress experience, it's really impressive and helpful to your clients. I've noticed in a lot of freelance writing job listings that companies will post, is the require or heavily prefer that you have experience using WordPress and their plugins, their tools, their content management system, things like that. So like I said, I would highly recommend getting on to bluehost.com, purchasing a domain name that makes sense for you and the type of writing that you're going to do, and then setting up your website on WordPress. And we could get into setting up a website and how you can build it out on WordPress and everything like that. But honestly, there's so many other great creators out there on YouTube and Skillshare and all over the web that'll show you quick and easy setups that you can use for setting up your WordPress website, picking a cool skin or design for it so that it really pops out, and helping you with those initial setup steps. So I would just recommend going to bluehost.com, coming up to the WordPress tab, and then learning more about their WordPress hosting plans. And then also, I purchase, I think 100% of my domains through Bluehost. So I would shop around for a domain that makes sense for you too and go ahead and buy it. And the great thing about getting your own WordPress site and your own, .com or .net or wherever you host it, is that it's really inexpensive. Like, you can see for a lot of these hosting plans, we have basic hosting for $2.95 a month. Now, if you launch a freelance writing business that's making hundreds or maybe even thousands of dollars a month at some point, or even if you're breaking even, this is not a huge cost for your business to incur. Even the next level up here is only $5.45 a month. This might be for annual plans. They might charge a little more if you're doing month to month, but it's going to be a nominal amount. And then also, domains will typically run anywhere from $10 to $20 a year. It can be more depending on how competitive it is for that domain. But domains are really inexpensive too. So this is a really, I would say, inexpensive and effective way to put up your portfolio the quickest. I would just recommend getting yourself set up with an account. And before you do, just hop on YouTube and learn what the overall process looks like. I've seen some great creators on YouTube before that'll post how to get your Bluehost and WordPress website link set up and published and live in like 30 minutes or less. And they're great. And so that's what I would recommend. I would recommend going WordPress. There are great platforms too, like, who else is out there? There's some really good ones like Squarespace and even Medium. If you don't want to have to worry about setting up a website, Medium is a great blogging platform that you could use to kind of host your work. There's a lot of great drag and drop site builders that you could use. But like I said, my strong preference is WordPress, and I think it's another really valuable work skill that you can add to your repertoire besides writing. Now, I know I just stressed the importance of WordPress, especially if you want to expand your portfolio into some content management systems, website building. Like I said, it's one of the most popular platforms for hosting and building websites on the web. At the time I'm recording this, is between like 40 and 50% of all websites on the internet are built on WordPress, but I thought I'd offer a few different alternatives too. I know I mentioned some in a previous video, but we also have, if you'd like, a drag and drop editor that's super simple. Squarespace is one of the other leading website editors, builders, content management systems out there. I've played around with them a little bit. I have a lot of friends in SEO and marketing who are really big into using Squarespace and are huge proponents of it. They also have their own built-in SEO software you can use. So that's always a great skill that you can show employers or clients or whoever you might be working with. Squarespace is a really well-known platform, so it looks really good on a resume as well. So this is another great WordPress alternative. Like I said, WordPress isn't exactly a drag and drop editor. I think there's different things you can use like Elementor on it that'll make it more drag and drop friendly. And there's a lot of different skins and different looks that you can use for WordPress that make it a little more user-friendly. It's still really easy to get up, but Squarespace is another great alternative. Like Squarespace, we also have Wix. This is another great drag and drop editor. I believe they also have their own built-in SEO as well. I don't have anything bad to say about this company. I've also had a lot of friends build sites on here that have ranked really well on SEO. and done really well in the content space and the e-commerce space even. So this could be another one that you take a look at for yourself. If you want to go even more low maintenance than that, you could look at platforms like Medium. Now, this is like a pure blogging platform from everything I've seen, and you've probably seen this too on Google. You'll run a Google search quite a bit of times, and you might even find like an article or a blog or a post from a writer pop up on the first page of Google for it. So Medium's a fairly SEO friendly platform. If you're purely looking for a platform where you can write to showcase your writing skills and some of your SEO work in terms of keyword implementation, you could go with something like this. Like I said, I'm going to lean more towards the drag and drop builders or WordPress, just because I think it shows a better depth and breadth of skills to clients that you might work with in the future. But this would be another great option too. And just for another alternative, you could even go straight to building your own brand and email list by using a service like Substack. Beehive is another one that has entered the game here too, which is a really interesting platform. And that's Beehiiv. And I can leave that in the notes for the course. You can check that one out too. So the great thing about platforms like Substack and Beehive are that they are free to use. They have, I believe, built-in affiliate and recommendation networks, so you can show up as a recommended email list subscribed to people who write newsletters like yours, which can help you increase your subscriber base faster. And then furthermore, you can actually charge for premium email lists. So you can have a free version of your email list, and then you can also charge a premium subscription to your users who want to, get premium content that you could publish to your email list. So this is a great way to publish your list, show your writing prowess. And I don't have anything bad to say about Substack either. Another one that I think has really come up and become another SEO friendly platform. And the last here is one that I actually use to host my portfolio on, and I've been really impressed with these guys. I think I just found them through searching on Google. I needed to throw up a portfolio pretty quickly that I could add to some of my job profiles and freelancer profiles. And I have nothing bad to say about Journo Portfolio either. It was so easy. It was literally like a one-click import to get all my blog links imported here. They even imported like the featured image for a lot of my blogs. They have some really cool different basic layouts. I think they do have a free version. They have, it says right here on the website, we have a 100% free plan. They also have discounted versions if you want access to more premium features. I believe they have a student discount even for student writers, which is really great. And I think they even have URL customization. So once again, going back to if you wanted to purchase your own domain like yournamewrites.com or something like that, you could purchase a domain and then link it directly to your Journo portfolio, and that could be your website. So like I said, here are just a handful of other options. Once again, I strongly recommend WordPress or even Squarespace or Wix, just so you can get some familiarity with some of the leading content management system and website building platforms. But if you want to get your portfolio up as quickly as possible and not have to worry as much about design or technicalities in the background, these are some great options for helping you get your website and portfolio up quickly. All right, now we're getting to the real game changer of all software here that's really made freelance writing and writing careers so feasible for so many people. So AI writing software is something that I started using near the beginning of 2021. I actually had a friend reference this to me, and since then I have just been exploring and using these software daily for work, for writing, for anything that I can apply it to. And this has just changed the game because these give you the ability to tell an AI what you want to write about, and the AI can generate practically new, totally unique, almost plagiarism-free or totally plagiarism-free content. And it's just really amazing that we've gotten to the point where you can ask a chatbot or input some prompts into one of these sophisticated AI software, and it can actually write a full-blown 1,000, 2,000 word blog post. It can write email copy, it can write social posts, gosh, you name it, it seems like they can do it. So the first one I'm going to recommend here, and this is something that we've already used throughout this course, is ChatGPT. If you're trying to do this the best you can at the lowest possible cost, right now ChatGPT has a free version that lets you access virtually every feature on the platform, and you'll be able to use it for everything we're going to do with this course in terms of launching your freelance writing business or side hustle or creating a portfolio from scratch in record time. So I would just highly recommend, if you haven't already, just signing up for a free ChatGPT account. You can use your Gmail or other Gmail accounts to sign up for it, or you can just create it from scratch. They'll send you a confirmation. And then as soon as you punch in the confirmation, you're up and ready to go. There's already, even though this has only been out for, at the time I'm recording this, like several months now, it's just really kicked up in popularity. There's a ton of great resources on YouTube and Google for how to use this and how to give ChatGPT prompts so that it'll give you better outputs. But just to give you a couple other options here, I just want to have some notable mentions. So Jasper AI was actually the AI content writer that I got started with. I absolutely love the software. I definitely say I'm a loyalist. I've been paying for it for the last 2 years, every month consistently. This is something that I use daily, and I'll even split test with ChatGPT just to see the differences in the outputs and things like that. One thing that I really love about Jasper is it has a built-in document system. So they actually have something sort of similar to like Google Docs where you can save drafts of your blogs and you can put things into different folders. They have like a folder organization. So I like that for keeping things organized. ChatGPT's is a little more basic where they just have individual chats and kind of a running list of those, and you can delete them or keep them. Jasper's a little more organized, whereas ChatGPT is totally purposed around a chat feature. Jasper is more for the true writer. So you start from a document and you can build out, a blog introduction or a sales email or a block of different social posts promoting a certain product or service or a business or something like that. I absolutely love Jasper. I can't recommend it enough. They have a lot of different flexible pricing plans too. I want to say they're on the more expensive side, but still reasonably priced for what you get out of writing software. Another one I've heard a lot about, I've only tested very little with, is Copy AI. I feel like a lot of the prominent writers and SEOs I follow have nothing but good things to say about Copy AI. I believe, and we can take a look at the pricing here. Keep in mind, this is subject to change. So they do have a free plan that you can test. That's another great thing to mention about each of these pieces of AI software is most all of them offer trial periods. So what I would recommend is start with your ChatGPT account since it's free, get used to it, get comfortable with it, use it to test for writing your blogs. And then if you decide to venture outside of that, the reality is you'll probably be able to handle everything you need in writing and freelance writing with ChatGPT alone, which is free. But if you want to venture outside of it and test other ones, I would say try free trials of all of these different pieces of software and see what you like. You might end up picking up one that you really love and fits your workflow, lifestyle, or the type of writing that you're doing. So once again, Copy AI is another good choice here. Writesonic is another one that I've heard a lot about lately. And I'm pretty sure that they just use the ChatGPT API. So you're just going to be paying for basically different prompts and versions of the ChatGPT API. Now they've really purposed this for writers too. So think of this as like Jasper in union with ChatGPT, where you're going to get the ChatGPT software and access, but you're also going to have different use cases that are featured and fill in for writers and are able to do a lot of the things that writers do. You can take a look at all the features and use cases on here. I've heard great things about Writesonic. It sounds like there's a lot of people using the software right now who are big in the writing space. Another piece of software that I've picked up and tested some more extensively than some of the couple other ones that we've covered is PepperType. Now, I got a really great lifetime access deal on this, which I can tell you about here in a minute, and how to kind of find and spot those from companies who are releasing this type of software. But I've been really impressed with PepperType. I would put this a very close second to Jasper, although I put both of those behind ChatGPT at this point. I've just been so impressed with that. I believe PepperType's used by a lot of Fortune 500 companies at this point in their marketing and production departments and advertising departments. Really impressed with PepperType and what the Pepper content team is doing. Another one of the first and earliest pieces of software that I picked up in AI writing was Writer.me. So Writer.me has kind of a different setup for writing content, which I really liked. You kind of cue it on like the keywords in the top of your cover, and you give it a lot of input on the front end. That's what I remember from this. And then it spits out some really accurate and specific content, which I really liked about this. This is a more affordable pricing structure. So if you're a new writer and you want to use ChatGPT and also pick up one of these, you can get into Writer right now for just $9 a month, which is pretty amazing, and up to 100,000 characters. I don't know the math off the top of my head, but I'm sure that's at least 20 to 30,000 words, if not more than that. And their unlimited is only $30 a month. So think about for the price of, Netflix plus Hulu or HBO or something, you're going to get something that can write unlimited content for you that you could potentially be making money off of in your freelance writing career. And when you break it out that way, it sounds like such a great deal. Like I said, super impressed with Writer. Would also recommend checking this one out too. Now, one of the last ones here I've just started hearing more about recently is Copysmith. I would recommend taking a look at the features and just looking at what some of the reviews are online, like checking G2 and other like software review websites. But I've been reading some great things about this piece of software recently. So I would recommend, like with all things, if they have a free trial, sign up for the free trial, test it out for doing some writing and see what you think of it. Now, last thing here that I think is a huge tip for not only just new writers, but anybody in any industry is AppSumo. So AppSumo, I just stumbled upon probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I've invested a lot of money into software on this platform, and it's helped me save a lot of money and time for what the software has enabled me to do. So they're basically like a discount software marketplace from a lot of different startup companies. And what's really great about them is you can, instead of purchasing ongoing access on a monthly subscription for a great piece of AI writing software or keyword research software or SEO software, you can pay, like you're seeing here, $39, $49, $79 for lifetime access to this software. So when I initially found out about writing AI software, I immediately just was like doubling down on Jasper. I said, okay, you know what? This software, I can tell it's totally worth it. I've been paying an ongoing subscription for, but along the way, I've been picking up these lifetime access deals for other pieces of AI writing software on AppSumo, and I've found some really incredible options. I was able to pick up PepperType on there. I don't think they're on there any longer. They were for a while before. I know that they came back. I would be on the lookout to see if PepperType would come back again. I was able to pick up writer.me on there and a handful of other AI writers as well. So just a point of advice for new writers out there, any writer out there, and honestly, if you're not even going to stick with writing, if you're in any kind of industry or business, there's so many great discount tools on here that can help you streamline or improve your productivity and results in work. I would recommend signing up for notifications for AppSumo just to see what kind of businesses and what kind of software they're releasing every month. So anyways, now you have some other options for AI writers and then some recommendations for how to find some really awesome discounts on potentially amazing software in the near future. All right, so now we're going to get into some keyword research. And since you've already got an account on it by now, I figure we might as well start with ChatGPT. Now, here's the part where SEO, search engine optimization, and these keywords come into the picture. So I just want to say up front that if you just want to show that you can write and produce quality writing, especially using these tools to help you get there faster, that's totally great. You can make a perfectly good resume just off of writing and not having to worry about keyword research that much or search engine optimization. But what I will say is you can really up your rate and value in the market as a writer if you know how to do SEO and you have keyword research skills. So just to give you a quick little education here, I figure we can start with what is SEO. ChatGPT can explain search engine optimization here. So it's just the practice of optimizing websites, web pages, online content to increase your visibility, your rank, the impressions, the traffic that you're getting from search engines for the keywords you want to rank for. So for instance, say you have a gardening business and it's local to, a city near you. So you obviously want to optimize your business for what services you provide in gardening and include the city that you're in so that people will find you because they'll be searching your geographic area and using terms like near me or using gardening plus the city that you live in. So this is kind of like the basic breakdown, the high level overview of what SEO is. Now, keywords are what people punch into search engines to find your website, businesses, services, whatever you're selling. And we can say right here, what are keywords, just to give ChatGPT can give us a little overview here. Keywords are phrases used to describe the content of a web page or online content. And this is what people search, right? So everything starts with words. And this is, again, why writing is so important. So people, when they need a solution to their problems, or they need a service or they need a product, they usually go to search engines first. So what we're going to start with here, I figured I would take a fresh new example for keyword research just to like start from the ground up and how you would build out your topics for what I'll call your minimum viable work portfolio, which I think most companies and businesses or clients that you'll work with, if you have anywhere between 10, 15, or even up to 20 like published pieces of content, whether that's long, short form, copywriting, whatever that may be that you want to specialize in, that's going to be plenty enough to show your prowess and expertise. And so how we're going to start this process is we're going to make sure we get you the right topics first that are getting searched a lot on Google. And that's what's really going to impress these clients and employers that you may be working with in the future. So what we do when we start, like, say you've already picked your niche or topic or industry that you're going to be writing in, which you should up to this point, we want to identify our seed keywords. And our seed keywords are our short tail like keyword starting points. These are the most basic keywords that kind of describe the overarching coverage of the topics that we're going to be getting into. So I figured as a example here, we would use personal finance. It's a space that I've written in and I'm interested in. It's not where the majority of the depth of my experience is, but I figure we would start with that. So let's take some examples here, and you can do this along with me. If you've already chosen your niche, you can use these same prompts in ChatGPT. So I'm just going to ask it, what are some seed keywords for personal finance? I'm going to put this in quotes just to make sure that it knows, and let's run this. Awesome. So we have budgeting, saving, investing, retirement, debt, credit score, insurance, taxes, financial planning. So see, look, it just made a list of, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So more than 10 keywords. So these topics could actually be your entire portfolio for personal finance. These are all things that are probably going to get a lot of searches in a variety of different ways. So let's go ahead and ask ChatGPT, what are some let's go SEO friendly blog title examples I could use for each of these for my personal finance writing portfolio, website or blog. See, and once again, the work is done for you here. So ChatGPT not only gave us our seed keywords, but we got budgeting, 10 simple budgeting tips to improve your finances today, great personal finance tip, saving, the power of compound interest and how to maximize your savings, investing, the ultimate beginner's guide to investing in stocks, retirement, how to retire early, a step-by-step guide, debt-free journey, how to pay off your debt and improve your credit score. So you can already tell this is such a powerful machine because you didn't even have to go to Google as a search engine and research, or you didn't have to go to any other keyword tools like, Keyword Planner, Ubersuggest. There's a ton of great keyword tools out there. WordStream, I believe, is one, KW Finder, SEMrush, Ahrefs. You didn't even have to pay for a keyword research tool to get probably really commonly searched terms in the personal finance space. And now you have 15 really SEO friendly and very clickable blog titles here that you could use for your portfolio. And we meet that minimum blog requirement of that 10 to 15 blogs. You have 15 topics right here that you can jump into. So before I get too carried away and excited about explaining how you would use ChatGPT for the rest of this process of actually outlining and writing these blogs and pieces of your portfolio for you, we're going to show you a couple of other keyword tools and keyword methods you can use to do your keyword research, just in case you want to verify that research by other means, and checking Google and checking some other tools, just to be sure you have the right topics for you. So another really easy, intuitive way to start doing keyword research, whether that's for writing a blog or a page for a client, or if you're building out your portfolio and you want to do it as fast as possible, is just going straight to Google. So extending from our previous example and creating a portfolio or a blog or content in the personal finance space, let's just search personal finance here. And so what's really interesting is you can already start to see, so Google is auto-filling keywords based on what's really commonly searched on personal finance. So these are all auto-suggested based on, millions of people searching these things. So personal finance, club, lab, definition, books, class, course, news, tips, advisor. So something that I would do right here is I would take a screenshot of this and drop it or copy and paste it into a Google Sheet or a Google Doc so that you can start pooling all of these keywords that you might want to use for the blogs or the content that you're going to be writing. So let's go ahead. Now that we've got that autofill data, you've got that screenshot, you've got that copy pasted, let's go ahead and run the search. And we've got some news at the top here. We've got a definition of the Wikipedia page over to the side. So this is something that's really important. I don't think it's going to extend on. Okay, so we've got some different autofill data here. I would also probably want to copy and paste this and go investigate these later just to see what they're all about and if they'd be beneficial to us. But another thing I want you to take a look at here is this is such a valuable section is people also ask. So this is going to give you basically an infinite run of very commonly asked FAQs around this specific topic. So you can already see a handful populated here. What are the 5 main components of personal finance? The 50-30-20 rule, meaning of personal finance, number 1 rule of personal finance. What are 7 steps in personal finance? So I don't know about you, but all of those sound like they could be really awesome blog topics for your portfolio, for your client, for building your own personal brand. I would also copy paste or add these to your doc or Google Sheet where you're collecting all your keywords that and topics that you want to write on in this personal finance space. And like I said, you can do this for any niche. You can copy these same tools and processes that we're using right now, and you can literally put it into any niche that you want. What's really amazing is that this people also ask section, these are already search verified terms. So we already know that hundreds or thousands or maybe even millions of people are searching for these specific searches on Google. So Google's really just handing you, hey, you should probably write about these topics if you want to rank or if you want to write performance content in this space. Now, what's really amazing about this is as we click on these topics, more people always also ask questions start to populate. So now we've got, what is the golden rule of personal finance? What is the 10 rule in personal finance? The 40-20-20 budget rule, the 40-20-10. What is the rule 69 in finance? And then we can keep clicking down here, rule 72, 35. So there's some kind of rule list going on here. We have, what will $5,000 be worth in the next 20 years? How much interest does it looks like $100,000 a year earn? How can I double $5,000? So you can just keep clicking on down this list here and copy paste all this information into your keyword research document. And at very least, you're going to have some really great FAQ data that you can add to some of the seed keywords that we covered previously, or you could even build out entire blogs around these questions, and you've pretty much got guaranteed search volume, so people searching for these terms built into it. There's a reason they're popping up here, and that's because Google's seen that people search them a lot. That's why they want to make it easily accessible on the front page here. So this is just another great tool for doing keyword research. I would go ahead and start collecting these in your niche and your space or the industry that you're writing for, and we'll be using them later to put together your blogs and content for your portfolio or website. Now you already have access to a lot of free or inexpensive keyword research tools. I just thought I would go over a couple of the big industry leading full-blown SEO suites and keyword research tools. In case you're interested, there may be a place and time down the road where either you're transitioning careers to becoming a full-time writer, or you've picked up enough clients, you've expanded your business enough that you may want to dive headfirst into getting one of these massive SEO suite tools and keyword research tools. Now, SEMrush and Ahrefs are the industry leaders at the time I'm recording this. They have been for a while. These pieces of software are honestly unbelievable. They have everything that you could possibly think of and imagine when it comes to wanting to build and grow your SEO traffic. You can run audits of your website, other websites, do competitor analysis, see keyword search volume and the difficulty to rank for something. It'll even give you recommendations on how many backlinks you would need a piece of content to have in order to rank for certain keywords in different varying competitive environments. I mean, honestly, what you can do with this platform, and these platforms are absolutely endless. So here's SEMrush, and then here's Ahrefs. The great thing is these are, kind of legacy tools. They've been around a while. The companies are super reputable. I mean, most companies that you'll see or clients that you're looking at online, whether that be on Indeed or Glassdoor or Fiverr, like most employers and clients will ask to make sure that you know how to use one or both of these if it's for a full-time job or career If you're looking for a client relationship and they just need some SEO optimized content, they probably aren't going to ask for or require that you know how to use these or you use these tools. There's so many other great tools out there you can use just for writing. These are literally the entire suite of all sorts of SEO tools that you typically see used in agencies and full-time marketing organizations. So like I said, you're not going to need these to build your portfolio and launch into your freelance writing career. In fact, I would even say at this point in time, you may never even have to touch these if you're just writing on the side, but they're just tools that are good to know that they're out there, that they exist. And maybe you'll want to dabble in at some point. Like I said, if you expand your own business, you start building out your own agency, maybe at some point. Now, on the topic of helping make your career or side hustle as a writer, a freelance writer, more fun, more successful, and a little bit less expensive, I recommend, again, going to appsumo.com. It's an amazing marketplace for discounted software from all kinds of really cool companies. I have purchased a lot of AI writing software on here over the years, and also SEO tools, keyword research tools, and all that. I recommend just keeping this in your bookmarks. I do. I'm even on their email list, so I get updates on new software that they're getting in, and then I'll go do my due diligence and research online. There are plenty of great websites that review software like you would find on here that can give you good breakdowns and comparisons. I also like to read user reviews on different platforms too. But let's say, for instance, you're looking for a keyword research tool and you don't want to break the bank with something like a SEMrush or an Ahrefs. So I would just go to keyword research and we'll see what we'll find here. Now keep in mind, at the time I'm filming this, these options and the selection might be different than what you'll find, in a month or two from now. But they're constantly posting new software here. So you can see some right off the bat. So we've got Keyword Revealer, the only SEO tool you'll never need or ever need. We have GoZen Content AI. I actually think I have a keyword research tool from them that I absolutely love. It's something that I use on a daily or every other day basis. You can see some others on here that are sold out. So you can see that there are some keyword tools on here that'll help you out for finding those valuable keywords when you're writing. And let's just take a look, for example, let's look at SEO tools and see what they've got. Maybe we can just do a general search for SEO too. So you see the keyword one again, URL Monitor, SEO and PPC Guardian Angel, Labrica. I've seen this one on here a long time. It must be doing pretty well. Site Guru, improve and monitor your website's ranking with an actionable SEO to-do list. You can see here we have, instead of $69, $100, $200 a month, we're finding SEO and keyword tools that for one time you can pay $49, $69, $99, $75, and have lifetime access to these great pieces of keyword and SEO software. And I know I mentioned this before, but it bears repeating again. Like I said, I found a lot of great AI writing tools on here over time. So let's just look up AI writing to see what they have now. So if you don't want to pay for something like, a Jasper AI or Copy AI or something out of pocket, even though, $25, $30 a month will get you a lot out of it. And I know ChatGPT is free at the time I'm recording this, so I would highly recommend using that as much as possible, especially if you're trying to bootstrap and save some on your budget. You can also go over to AppSumo if you want to, invest in some AI writing software for yourself for a one-time buy. Word Hero has been on here for at least a couple years. This must have some decent reviews on it, so that might be a good one to pick up. $89 for lifetime access. Auto Writer, this seems like a new one on here. But the great thing about AppSumo too is you can purchase a piece of software and they have a really generous return policy. So you can buy a piece of software, you can test it out for a month with your clients. You can see more as I scroll, more AI content writers on here. This is a big space to be in right now. But you can test it out for a month or two. And if you're not happy with it, you can return it and they can either give you, a return on your credit card, or they can give you a return in the form of a credit, which I believe is instantaneous for AppSumo. So then you can roll that over into another piece of software and test it out. But anyways, here's some more great ways that you can use AppSumo to find some discount and great keyword tools, SEO tools, and more AI writing software. Another great tool for keyword research is using the keyword planner in Google Ads. Now, don't worry, All you have to do is open an advertising account. You do not need to spend money on Google Ads to use Keyword Planner. Keyword Planner is a free tool. Now, I believe the last time I checked, you may need to input a credit card into your Google Ads account so that they have one on file. I think the only other prerequisite for it at this point in time that I'm recording this is that you need a URL for your website. And lucky for you, since we're working on building your portfolio and website right now, you could just include that URL with your Google Ads account while you're setting up the account. And if you already have a Gmail, even easier to go ahead and set this up. Now, I've got my Keyword Planner open in another tab here, so we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. Hopefully it'll load up pretty quickly for me. And the great thing about Keyword Planner that's different from the tools that we've looked at this point are that they'll actually give you search volume and then a level of competitiveness for each of the keywords that you want to look at. So let's extend on that example we've been using in the personal finance space. So actually, let me make sure I'm on the right page here. Let's get to Keyword Planner. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start with personal finance. And then we can even go ahead and take some of the keywords from ChatGPT earlier that we grabbed. So let's grab budgeting, saving, investing, retirement, debt, credit score, and why don't we grab all the way down to taxes and see if we can get all these keywords in here. Might cut us off. Okay, we can get more. So let's grab financial planning. Excellent. So we're at the limit right now. You can punch in 10 at a time. So let's go ahead and hit get results. And so now Google will give us specific data on each one of these searches. So, and yes, this is a broad range here, but there's a verifiably solid amount of search volume behind these terms. So personal finance alone gets between 10,000 and 100,000 searches a month on Google. You can also take a look over here. Now, I believe this is just giving you the competition for what it would be to bid on this keyword in Google Ads. It gives you top of page bid here, and it gives you the high range. And then it also gives you keyword ideas based on what you punched in for your topics here. So a lot of them are stock information. Of course, people who are looking for things in the personal finance space are going to be looking at stocks. But you can also go back to the top, and you can filter by certain ideas. You can exclude certain things. You could exclude anything that had to do with stocks, and you can really narrow down the search. So by being able to pull all of this search data from Keyword Planner, it's such a valuable tool. And even though this is mostly geared toward running paid ads, keep in mind that people are searching in Google search engine, regardless of whether they click on a paid ad or they click on an organic listing, which we're optimizing organic content for organic listings since we're working on your website and portfolio. So once again, Google Keyword Planner is another great tool just to verify what the search volume is for certain keywords. You can punch in specific keywords. You can punch in your seed keywords in here and get a pretty decent estimate of how many searches they get per month. This is just another tool that you can stack on the other keyword tools and research methods we've mentioned so far. Now, another reason why it's one of the easiest and best times in history to become a writer, be a freelance writer, write on the side, start your own writing business, whatever it might be, it's because, like I said, we have all this incredible software that we can use to kick off your business and carry you into the future and whatever your writing endeavors may be. One of my favorites are these AI writing assistants. So I'm going to cover a few here that are my favorites. So Pro Writing Aid is something that I've been using for over a year now. I mean, it's honestly unbelievable. So it does everything it says here over in the bullets: grammar checking, style improvements, rephrase suggestions. They do also include live training events. I love Pro Writing Aid because it sits in my Google Chrome. I have it as an extension, and I have it activated anywhere that I write anything. So I have it in my email, I have it in my Google Docs, I have it in ChatGPT and my AI writing software so it can edit in there. And these pieces of software just really make sure that your writing is clear, concise, not confusing, and error-free. They have a ton of great tools. I can't even sing the praises of these companies enough. But I've been using them in general. Gosh, I think I've been using Grammarly for probably over a decade. I've been using Premium for at least 3 or 4 years, if not 5. And Pro Writing Aid, even though it's the newer one that I've added to my software stack, has easily become one of my favorites. It lets you rephrase, rewrite, write in your Google Doc or your email, wherever that you might be writing, any kind of word processor. It's just a really incredible tool. It's almost like having a digital editor and proofreader on your shoulder that's just watching out for mistakes in anything that you do, and can help you, change things from passive to active voice, cut down on compound or complex sentences, and just make your writing a lot more clean, clear, and concise. Now, like I mentioned, the other one that I use really frequently and have used even longer is Grammarly, and more specifically, Grammarly Premium. So Grammarly does virtually the same things as Pro Writing Aid. The one bonus that I will say for Grammarly's sake is that they have a built-in plagiarism scanner, which I absolutely love. One thing that you do not want to do as an online writer or an SEO writer is plagiarize other people's content. And now the AI that we're using to write the majority of your content is designed to reference a huge smattering of listings and other people's writing from the internet, but they're creating unique content. That doesn't mean they're always perfect. So just as a standard of practice, I run just about everything I write through a plagiarism scanner, and Grammarly is the plagiarism scanner I use. I think at the time I'm writing this, Grammarly is only between like $14 and $18 a month. They give discounts on annual plans. I think I pay $140 a year for my annual plan. It's honestly worth every penny. It pays for itself just to know that I can have a clear head about having error-free writing, plagiarism-free writing. Like I said, I can't say enough good things about Grammarly and Pro Writing Aid. The one thing that I do love about Pro Writing Aid is that I think they still offer a lifetime access plan. So what's really great is you can pay one time, and that list, and this could change by the time you watch this, I believe is $400, but you get lifetime access to the software. And last year I actually bought Pro Access for, I think they were running a sale for 50% off for Cyber Monday. And if that sounds a little steep to you right now to pay the full $400, I would say wait around, or definitely invest in the low monthly rate for either Grammarly Premium or Pro Writing Aid. I would just say pick one or the other, and see what you like the best. And feel free to test out both. I think they both have free trials. Test them in your writing and see which one you like better. And now the last one, which is also free, is Hemingway Editor. So Hemingway was known for his kind of short, curt, simple, approach to writing. And this is the way that actually the internet prefers to read. Like, people don't take the time to read and, scrape through long, winding sentences and wordy vocabulary. You can really lose your reader that way. So you can see over here, this is optimizing your writing for a 6th grade reading level. It's going to tell you, like you can see right here, so it's going to highlight complex sentences. It's going to highlight errors in here. It's going to tell you where you can phrase things simpler or where you need to choose something alternate based on what you are currently writing. So what I'll do a lot of times is I'll just copy and paste from wherever I'm working, whether that be a Google Doc or ChatGPT or the back end of WordPress, doesn't matter. Copy and paste into Hemingway Editor and see what errors it pulls up for you. And now what's great about using all these tools together is you can actually stack them. So you can run Grammarly Premium or Pro Writing Aid in Hemingway Editor. So now you have basically 2 virtual AI editors who are over your shoulder helping you edit and spot and clean up your work. So I would highly recommend, like I said, get at least Pro Writing Aid or Grammarly Premium, test out trials of each to see how you like them, start using them in your writing, and then also punch them into the Hemingway app just to help clean up your writing even more. Alrighty, so now we have you set up with all the software you need to succeed. You have your keyword tools, you have your AI writer, you have your AI writing assistant, and now is the moment you've been waiting for. Let's get to writing and building out your portfolio. Like I said, your portfolio is such a huge part of getting clients and getting work as a writer because it's your work speaking for you. This is what your clients and employers are going to need to see, that you have the skills as a writer. And just to reiterate, this is one of the easiest and best times in history to become a writer because we have this wonderful software like ChatGPT, Jasper, Copy AI, all of the AI writing software out there that can help you start your freelance writing career. So here, we're just going to go back to using the personal finance example, and I'm going to ask it again to give me some seed keywords for personal finance. I'll put this in quotes just so it knows. Awesome. So this is pretty similar to the list that we had last time. It actually even gave us a handful of new topics. So let's say we'll just use these 20 topics to start with, and we might even end up using all of them to fill out our portfolio or our website with. So then let's ask it again like we did in another video and say, can you write some viral, clickable headlines for each of these topics? And let's give it to, let's go SEO friendly, viral, clickable headlines for each of these topics. Gosh, this is great. So the last time I ran this, it actually only gave one headline for each of them. So my prompt might have been a little different. And let's ask it, can you finish writing headlines for the rest of the topics you gave me? Let's see if it'll do it. Awesome. So it's going to finish with the rest of these. And this is just really amazing. I mean, as somebody who's been writing online for clients in a variety of different businesses for well over a decade now, this is saving you so much time of having to research, having to brainstorm, having to write your own headlines, even using headline tools, which are really great for helping you grade it in terms of clickability and SEO. Like, this is just really amazing. So then what we'll do is we'll just start, and I'll give you the example of how to write a single blog. And we'll just pick a headline from budgeting, this first right here. And once you know how to write a blog, you're going to reiterate this process for the rest of your topics in your portfolio, write those out, post them to your portfolio, and that's when we can start reaching out to clients about work on freelancing platforms, job sites, social media, and elsewhere. So let's just pick a favorite from the titles that it gave us here. It's 10 simple tips to create a budget that actually works, how to stop living paycheck to paycheck, a beginner's guide to budgeting, the ultimate guide to budgeting, save money, reduce stress, and take control of your finances. I love all of those headlines. Listicles tend to perform really well in terms of SEO. And I like that, there's just so much catchy about this. So simple tips, people love hearing that. Creating a budget, that's obviously where the need is. People are going to be looking for ways that they can personally budget better. And then actually works, this might be somebody who's read a couple of books or articles before and is thinking like, gosh, I'm just so frustrated. I need to figure out a better way to budget in my life. So I think this is really going to speak to our reader here. So all I'm going to do is take that title and I'm going to copy it down here and say, can you create a blog outline for the blog title? And then I'm just going to paste it in here. And let's just to clarify, say an SEO friendly blog outline. See what it comes up with. And keep in mind, I'm using ChatGPT Premium here, but the model that I'm actually using, the version of it I'm using right now, comes with the free version. So don't worry about that if that's a concern. If you want to pay the $20 a month for Premium for what it is right now, I highly recommend it, but you don't have to. So you can see now ChatGPT has written a full outline for us. So here we go. Here's an SEO blog outline, 10 simple tips to create a budget that actually works. We've got our intro, we've got our hook. Briefly mentioned the 10 tips that'll be discussed. And it looks like it might have given us less, but that's okay. We can add more. So we've got track our expenses, set financial goals, analyze your income and expenses, create a budget plan, stick to your budget, make budgeting a habit, celebrate your progress. So it's a few short of 10. So you know what we might do here? Let's just to test it out, give it another one of the blogs that it gave us, blog titles it gave us. Ultimate guide to budgeting, save money, reduce stress, and take control of your life. And you know what? Maybe for a beginner audience, let's use the second one here. And we'll go write a blog outline for... It's good that you guys can see me do this in real time. I didn't rehearse any of this, so you can see some of the feedback that ChatGPT is giving us and what we can give it. Create a budget plan, identify areas for saving, build an emergency fund, tackle debt, earn more income. So I love this already. So this one I think is great. I think we could keep and expand upon the 10 simple steps a little bit and use that as another blog to add to your portfolio. I think we'll go with this one just because it spit out something right on the money first time. We don't even have to expand upon it. So then basically what we're going to do here, and I'm just going to give this a shot, is say, can you use, or let's just tell it use, and this might even help it, and we'll get into prompts later, act as a blog writer. So we'll tell it how to act here. Use this exact outline to write an SEO friendly blog post. And let's see what it'll do. So right now you can see that it just went to work. And I think, so monitor our progress was our last section before the conclusion. And we have our conclusion paragraph. So you can see right here, I mean, I would say this could be a full blog almost that you could post to your portfolio or your website. I'm just going to check the word count here. So it's a short blog. It's 500 words. And say we wanted to expand on this. So we've got our intro paragraph right here. Living paycheck to paycheck can be incredibly stressful and can make it a difficult time to achieve financial goals. However, creating a budget plan can help break the cycle, manage money more effectively. In this beginner's guide to budgeting, we'll discuss the steps to take to stop living paycheck to paycheck. So there's nothing wrong with that intro, but say we wanted to expand upon it, we could just ask ChatGPT, can you rewrite the intro? Make it a little longer, and then we'll have it use a classic kind of copywriting, sales writing formula and say, and use a problem, agitate, solution formula for it. So let's see what it can do. Awesome. Tired of living paycheck to paycheck. This thought of unexpected expenses keep you up at night. Living in constant state of financial stress can take a toll on your mental and physical health. So this is great. It didn't add a ton of content here, but I love the rhetorical questions up front that it added. So I would say here you've got a pretty, like I said, a pretty well fleshed out blog post. The one thing I might have it do, just because like you can see, assess your financial situation. I mean, this is 2 sentences. That's pretty short and doesn't go into that much detail. So we have the first step is creating a budget plan, is assessing your current financial situation. Start by reviewing your income, expenses, and debt. Understanding your financial state will help you create a budget that works. So I might tell it here, expand on this section. And let's just see what it can do with that. And why don't we do this? Expand on, say, the following section, and then let's also say create subheadings for how to review your, we'll spell it out for it here just in case. 1, how to review your income. 2, how to review your expenses. 3, how to review your debt. All right, let's see if that'll give it enough information here. I know that my text was kind of chopped up, so let's see. All right, assess your financial situation. Okay, so we've got that. So now that 2 sentences that it had for the full section of the blog just became the intro for a bigger section here. How to review your income. Review your income is an essential step in assessing your financial situation. Start by adding up all of your sources of income, including your salary, bonuses, and any other source of income. So this is perfect, getting into more detail here. And once again, if I wanted to flesh this out and give it more content, I would just copy paste this back into ChatGPT and say, hey, let's add a little more here. Right on, fill in the blank idea or this idea or whatever you need it to expand on. We have a little snippet of how to review your expenses, how to review your debt. We could also say, add a section to this subsection of the blog on tools to, let's look at that topic again. Let's use tools and let's go free software to help you assess your financial situation. And you can see here, we're basically just having a conversation with this chatbot, and it's filling out this entire blog for us. So this is incredible. So now we've been able to flesh out this first section of the blog on assessing your financial situation even more. So you've got tools and free software. Assessing your financial situation can be overwhelming, but there are several tools and free software. Mint, personal capital, you need a budget. These are all classics. These are ones that I've written about, ones I've used before, Credit Karma and NerdWallet. This is great. So now in just what you've seen, a few minutes, instead of writing anything from scratch, we have taken ChatGPT from 2 sentences in this one section of the blog to now we have at least 4 subsections under assess your financial situation. We have how to review your income, how to review your expenses, how to review your debt. And then we also have tools and software to help you assess your financial situation. What's so cool about this? So we went from 2 sentences on this single section of this high-level blog we're writing to now we've basically created what could be its own freestanding blog just on assessing your financial situation. That's something you might want to take a note of later. So basically all I'm going to do is repeat this process through the original outline of the blog that we have here. So the next section I'll take in is create a budget plan. And we can just go ahead, for example, and say, can you go ahead and write this next section of the blog as well? I'm going to say stick strictly to this outline. And I'll give it to it. And it looks like it's still oh, there we go. Gosh, it really fleshed out this section of the blog. Determine your income, which is kind of something we discussed in the previous one. We might want to cut this out as a redundancy. List your expenses, also a redundancy. Categorize. So categorize, set financial goals, allocate your income. So it kind of almost wrote another freestanding blog here. This is something you could even have it simplify. So we could even say, can you shorten this section to the key points and use bulleted lists to highlight the action items for the reader. Let's see. Perfect. So now it's giving us a nice little actionable bulleted list here. Stick to your budgeting plan. Gosh, and it really took it literally going to the bullets here. And like I said, you can tell it to write and rewrite anything you want here. Treat it like a conversation you're having with another writer. So if I wanted to say, hey, can you speak to this bullet more? Hey, can you format this in a way that's not a bulleted list? You can tell ChatGPT to do that and it will. So from here, now you know how to create a blog from one of our seed keywords. We literally went in a few minutes from having a list of seed keywords to in a few minutes showing you how you can write a blog in basically minutes. Now, what I would do here just to stay a little more organized is I would probably copy and paste the working blog that you have in a Google document and just save it over there, and then copy paste the versions that ChatGPT spits out here of the specific sections of the blog into that document. You can also create different versions in the doc and track changes, which is really nice. And then you can still have this really nice palette of all your ideas put together. So you can kind of pick and choose the best outputs. You can go back to ChatGPT and say, hey, can you simplify this section? Can you expand on this point? Can you make this more actionable? Can you include more data? There's a lot of great easy prompts you can use here, and literally just punch it in like you would ask someone a question. And that's kind of what makes this software really unique and special, is that you can just have a conversation with a chatbot, and in a few minutes you can go from 0 words on a page to a list of seed keywords and 1 or 2 or 10 blogs very quickly. And because we told it to write our blog in an SEO friendly way, you can imagine that all of our headers are going to be optimized around the specific keyword that we used to start this blog. So what I would recommend doing is, now that you've got your niche, industry, your topic pick that you're going to be writing in, you've got all your tools, I would say go ahead and jump into ChatGPT, punch in your topic, ask it to spit out some seed keywords. If you need to verify the search volume for those seed keywords, use the search tools that we use. Use Keyword Planner, or if you have a keyword research tool that you've got on AppSumo, or another one that you want to test online, go for it. Make sure there's search volume there. Like I said, clients, employers, whoever you're applying to and for work will want to see that you have some keyword research and SEO experience as well. So it's always a great thing to add. You can definitely there's tons of writing jobs and clients out there who just need a good writer, but having these keyword skills and SEO skills are really going to help when it comes to selling your portfolio to them and showing you that you are a credible writer and you know what you're doing and you know how to coach an AI to get you really great outputs for how to do this. So go ahead and test this out and write your first blog. Like I said, make sure you open up a Google Doc and copy paste and save whatever you need from it, and have a lot of fun with it. So just to give you a further idea on how I might edit and tweak this blog using ChatGPT, I know I mentioned in the last video, I highly recommend copy and pasting the content that you're working with over in a Google Doc. So you can see that I've got kind of a running, working version right here. So that way, if I want to take and write or expand on and rewrite anything in here, I could just literally take and grab these couple of sentences and copy, paste it back over in here and say, can you rewrite this section, and just say make it more conversational. Like I said, I'm just kind of running you through this as an example. Not that I'm going to make this blog perfect. So yeah, you can see that it just expanded on this entire section right here. And I can just keep going back and forth on this until I've got this blog in a really good place, or this piece of content in a really good place where I want to publish it. Now, something that I wanted to touch on real quick that we've talked about before is content is all about picking your keyword first, right? So ideally, we want to format our blog in a way that's SEO friendly so that search engines have an easier time reading it, scanning it, crawling it, picking up what's going on, and looking at the keywords in it. And one thing that we did not talk about earlier is that your keyword, although ChatGPT did this for us, is put our main keyword in the title or the H1 or the header. And blog structure is really important, and content structure is really important to SEO and telling Google what your content is about. So I might go ahead and do preliminary formatting in my Google Doc if I were you before we carry this over to your website or your portfolio platform that you're using. So right here's the title. So I'm just going to toggle this over to, instead of title, I'm going to select this as our H1. Those are synonymous on most platforms. And then I'll just go through and label these to the correct header that they are. So these headings are like your outline for your blog. So this is, like I said, the H1 of the title. This is what everything is about. Your keyword is going to be in here. And then you can think of anything under that. We're going to name like the bigger ideas under the H1. All of these are going to be H2s. And then specifically for this section right here, if you remember, so assessing your financial situation, this is going to be an H2. How to review your income, your expenses, and your debt are actually subheadings under here. You can see we outline that for the reader in this paragraph, reviewing your income, debt, and expenses. So what I'll probably do here, just to make this a little more SEO and reader friendly, so since this is a sub idea, all of these are sub ideas under assess your financial situation, we're going to format all these to H3s. Give our reader and search engine bots some guidance here. And then one thing that I might even do too, just to make it more reader friendly, is to make them a numbered list. So they've got a little numbered list to read through it here. And here's just a little bit of formatting for SEO, like I said. And then once again, so I would just go through and format all of these headers so that they kind of fit the general outline of your blog or piece of content. Once again, anything that's bolded in one of these H2s or H3s is going to tell Google, hey, this is important information that you need to be considering and looking at in order to consider where you want to rank your content. So anyways, this is my major recommendations for this. Go back and forth between ChatGPT and Google Docs just so you don't lose any data or writing here. One thing that I love about Google Docs, if you're new to using it, is that you can go back and look at your version history. So you can literally see all of the changes you're making in your doc, just in case like you would end up losing a chat or deleting a chat or something in your chat history in ChatGPT, and you wonder, oh yeah, like I had a really great version of this paragraph or this sentence, or what was this idea that I was working on. You can easily go back in Google Docs to version history and take a look at some of the changes here. So here are just some quick notes on formatting for SEO, and then how you can kind of continue to refine your piece of writing using Google Docs and ChatGPT. Now, I know that we've put a lot of ideas and to-do list things on your plate that you're working on right now. And just so you're a little less overwhelmed, we can slow this down for a second. So once again, you have all your AI writing tools. You have your AI writing assistant, either ProWriting 8 or Grammarly, and also Hemingway. You have your SEO software, and you have your keyword research. Okay, this is a lot of information to ingest. If you feel like you get lost along the way of doing your keyword research, grabbing your seed keywords, building out these blogs and headlines and everything else you're going to be creating, I just wanted to remind you that you can use ChatGPT to learn more and to guide this process. So in the previous video, we were just talking about formatting for SEO. Now, if this is your first time maybe writing for online, period, anywhere on the internet, you probably have a lot of questions about search engine optimization, keyword research. What do these things mean? How do they all fit together? And once again, I remind you, you can take these questions instead of going into Google search and combing through articles or going to YouTube and trying to watch videos and getting overwhelmed. Although those are great resources, and I highly recommend when you get deeper into learning that and research to use those tools, you can simply ask ChatGPT, what is SEO? And I know we ran through this earlier, but it bears repeating. You can also ask it, can you help me format the blog from this chat for SEO? Include recommendations for H1, H2s, and H3s. And let's see if it can run with that too. And this is a live test. I did not test this beforehand, so you'll just get to see how it works on the spot. But you can see right here, ChatGPT is taking, this isn't the most updated version of the article that I had over in my Google Doc, but I could have even copy and pasted back that entire content piece in here and said, hey, can you format this or advise me on how to format this for SEO? And you can tell right here, so it's guiding you. It's saying, okay, H1 at the top, same thing I told you in our last video. We've got our H2 and we've got our 3 H3s under this, and the rest of our H2s, and we've got our conclusion paragraph here. So this is really awesome. And if I was curious and I just wanted to ask it, what is the significance of headers for SEO content? So there you go. Headers play a significant role in SEO content for several reasons. Organizes your content, helps optimize it for keyword, enhances the user experience. You can get in featured snippets and rich results on Google, which is great. That means you can get your FAQs or your headers or important information that you're writing about right in the search engine. People, you don't even have to click over to your article. And it just makes it really easy for readers to just scan through it and grab the information they need. Well, I can continue to use this for any other questions that we have. So we already talked about portfolio platforms, but it's worth asking again, what are the top SEO friendly portfolio platforms and websites for writers? And it should give us some recommendations here. So one that I've brought up a lot, Journo Portfolio, is absolutely one of my favorites. That's one that we'll probably want to look into for you later, just because you need minimal knowledge about websites, web building, content management systems. It's really easy to put up a site on there. Some other great selections on here too. Like I said, I highly recommend WordPress. Another thing that I might recommend for you, if you're really just comfortable using social media, you could turn your LinkedIn profile into a creator account. You don't even have to host an external blog, and you can just blog directly on LinkedIn. You could also use Medium, and use that for your blogging platform. It's also another really simple, easy to set up, easy to use, SEO friendly platform. And like I said, you can just kind of continue to go down this rabbit hole with ChatGPT and have it teach you things. Like, I think ChatGPT is more than just a content creation engine. I mean, it's proven that through thousands of different use cases, but I think it's just an amazing tool for learning. So if you're interested in learning more about keyword research, SEO, optimizing your portfolio or your content for search engines, getting your writing more visible, or even how to make your writing appealing to clients, jobs you're applying for, things like that, ChatGPT is just an incredible tool for being able to do all of those things and so much more. All right, so we've talked about how important SEO is to writing online. So I just wanted to give you a quick breakdown of some of my favorite SEO tools and some of the industry leading SEO tools out there. The great thing about writing for SEO is that you don't need to do it totally blind. There's all these great tools that assist you in writing perfectly optimized pieces of content for SEO purposes so that you can get your content ranking on Google as quickly and easily as possible. They literally give you step-by-step breakdowns of what you need to do to improve the SEO score and performance of the piece you're writing. Now, I wanted to cover first, in case you're using WordPress or decide to use WordPress, there are a lot of great built-in, free and really inexpensive plugins for SEO. And Yoast right here, as you can see, is the #1 SEO plugin for WordPress. I've been using Yoast for, probably close to 10 years. It gives you just a really sensible guideline for what you can do to improve your SEO score. It's really easy in terms of usage and user interface. It's really easy to set up. You literally go to the back end of your WordPress, install the plugin, activate it, and then it just coaches you through how to optimize your pages for the keyword that you're going for. And that's how a lot of these, you'll notice if you use a handful of these different plugins or SEO resources, they all work pretty similarly. A lot of them have different user interfaces. They might put a higher priority on some SEO items and ranking factors versus others, but you'll notice that it works pretty similarly in that you'll input a keyword that you want to rank for. It'll kind of give you, an idea of the difficulty to rank for that keyword. Some of them will just give you an overall grading of how you're using the keyword that you're targeting in your specific article, and then giving you feedback on how to improve that. So like I said, if you're using WordPress, Yoast is a great one to start with. I can't recommend this plugin enough. And if you decide to go premium, $99 a year for using this is really just incredibly cheap for the value you can get out of it for yourself and your clients. Another one I've heard great things about, I haven't used much, is Rank Math. Rank Math is another easy to install SEO plugin for WordPress. I can't really speak to it that extensively because I haven't used it that much, but I imagine it has a lot of similar features to these other SEO plugins. I've heard from other SEOs and writers who I've worked with and who I know that they've really enjoyed using Rank Math, and it's got a slew of really great features that can help you improve your SEO. So you could download this one and try it out too. And the great thing about WordPress and its user interface and content management system is it makes it really easy to swap in and out of plugins. So if you use Yoast for a while, you decide it's not for you, you can easily uninstall that plugin or deactivate it and then try Rank Math as well. Now, a third one that I've just been testing over the past couple years is All-in-One SEO. And I found that this is a really awesome plugin too. I know it brought us to the pricing page here, but let's take you back over to the home page. So really similar in terms of features and user interface to Rank Math from everything that I can tell and see. I really like it because it's got a headline tool, so it even gives you a grade and like coaching tips on how you can improve headlines for clickability and captivating your reader. You can get a sense of the options that you have with this plugin here at the top of the page. Like I said, if you're using WordPress, I recommend either, if you want to go with the kind of bread and butter, super reliable SEO plugin, Yoast is a great one to go with. Go premium if you can afford it. I would recommend testing it out. If not, I've also had great experience with All-in-One SEO. I've heard great feedback from other users for Rank Math as well. So you've got a handful of different WordPress options there. And then if you're not using WordPress and say you're writing or publishing to, a different platform or a different kind of website, there's all these other great SEO tools that you can use outside of the WordPress interface. And I use these in my writing as well, just as kind of like a double check on my writing. This first one that I'm going over that I've really enjoyed using is called Neuron Writer. And so this gives you a actual score based on the utilization of your keyword, other semantic keywords related to the keyword that you're talking about. And then you can even see the competitor's best. So they'll give you the score of the person or the article that's ranking in the first position on Google. So it gives you a target to beat. And you can even see scoring breakdowns for, I think, the top 10 to 30 articles ranking for the given keyword or query that you're targeting here. I've seen a lot of great results using this for me and my clients. We've seen a lot of performance upticks just in the past couple of years that I've been using this particular piece of software. I can't recommend this one enough. At the time I'm creating this, they actually had a really awesome coupon on AppSumo. I'm not sure if it's still available, but regardless, it's still really affordable. So if you're not using WordPress, I recommend testing this one out as well. Another one that's blown up in the last couple years in terms of popularity is Surfer SEO. Now, I don't have to get too elaborate with this one. It works pretty similarly to like a Neuron Writer or an all-in-one SEO or a Rank Math, and that you can punch in a keyword that you're trying to target. It'll give you scoring feedback on it, the other semantic keywords that you want to use. It'll give you the number of times that you need to use each of those semantic keywords to kind of compete for that top spot in ranking in the SERP. I believe they also have keyword research tools. Yeah, right here, keyword research, so that you can even do keyword research on this platform, that's a really convenient thing. That's something that Neuron Writer doesn't have. You can't go into Neuron Writer at this point in time that I'm recording this and look up the search volume a certain keyword's getting, how many times they're getting searched a month, or how difficult it is to rank for that keyword difficulty. Something like an Ahrefs or a SEMrush would provide you. I've heard a lot of great things about Surfer. I used their 7-day trial and really enjoyed it. It had a plugin for another AI piece of writing software that I was using, Jasper.ai, which I've covered in this course, which made it really easy that you could just plug this right into Jasper and get immediate content scoring feedback there. So Surfer's another one you might want to check out if you're not publishing off WordPress, you're going elsewhere. And another one I've been testing for a few years now, and this is a little more on the pricing end because it's another kind of like all-in-one package tool, is Outranking.io. So Outranking kind of covers all your bases too, similar to Surfer, and that you can do keyword research here. It'll help you build out your outline. The one thing that I feel like they really bring to the table is they provide like a whole workflow. So I think you can do your keyword research, and that's what they start you out with. You can even set a geography that you're targeting to compete in. So say you have a client that only provides services in a specific city or state or county or region of the country. You can punch that in, and you can even get a competitive gauge geographically for ranking for that keyword, which is a really nice feature. Like I said, it'll help you build out your article. It gives you all the semantic keyword information you need. They also provide a nice little scoring system. They'll tell you how you're competing against the other top ranking pages or the top ranking pieces of content for a specific keyword. Last time I checked, I think they also go up to like the 30th organic position on Google. So you can take a look at your competitors from positions 1 through 10, 1 through 20, and then 1 through 30. You might even be able to check higher at this point. But just another great piece of software. So my recommendation for you is, like I said, if you're using WordPress, Yoast is a really great tried and true plugin, something I've used for years and really like. Also heard great things about Rank Math. Really enjoy everything from all-in-one SEO. And then if you're publishing elsewhere and you just need a great SEO piece of software that's off the publishing platform or content management platform you're using, like I said, Neuron Writer, Surfer SEO, and then also Outranking are great options too. We've discussed that there are a lot of different platforms, website, content management systems that you can publish on. And instead of going through the excruciating detail of walking you through each one of those and how to publish content and optimizing for SEO and using each one of those platforms, I feel like it's better to teach you how to learn those skills. And ChatGPT, once again, is an incredible tool for learning. So the first thing I'm going to do here, say we're using a WordPress site for either you or your client, and I'm going to ask it, can you help me learn how to publish? Got my typing a little out there. Learn how to publish content to my WordPress website. And it should be able to give us some quick and easy instructions on how to do that. And you can see, instead of going to Google and looking up instructions for how to add content to your WordPress website or searching around for YouTube videos, here's a nice little list. Now, keep in mind, ChatGPT is not perfect. You might have to get a secondary source, but I found that this is pretty good or really good most of the time. So let's say also maybe I'm publishing on Journo Portfolio. I'll say, awesome. Can you do the same thing for Journo Portfolio? Awesome. And working with Journo Portfolio, I can attest to the fact that this looks like the exact instructions you need on how to publish. So now I can ask it too. I can say, sweet, can you teach me how to optimize my WordPress blog for SEO using the free Yoast plugin? And it should be able to give us instructions here. Awesome. So step-by-step guide. It's even including instructions on how to use the Yoast plugin, which is fantastic. Once again, saving you time and a little bit of a headache of going to Google and YouTube and doing your own research. Figure out how to do that. I can also say, awesome. Can you teach me how to do the same with the Rank Math plugin? It should be able to give me instructions here. And then we could repeat the same thing for, all-in-one SEO or whatever WordPress plugin we're using. And now, while we're on the topic of learning how to publish and kind of how to optimize blogs for SEO, I can also ask it too about stock photos and stock images. Now, this is another important part of not only improving the user experience of your blogs and articles, because most users don't have a very long attention span, kind of depending on your audience. Obviously, there are always exceptions. A lot of SEOs will recommend adding in an image anywhere between, on the low end, 100 or 150 words. So every 100 or 150 words, you add an image to your article, to upwards of 300 to 500. You'll find varying resources on that. So I can say, can you help me find some, let's say, royalty-free stock photo or image websites for photos I can use to add to my blogs? And it can provide some recommendations here. It'll probably give a couple that I use pretty frequently, and yeah, it did. So I'll usually go to Unsplash first. So it says right here, offers a vast collection of stunning high-resolution photos contributed by photographers worldwide. All images are free to use for personal and commercial purposes without attribution. Now, I think this has changed a little bit on Unsplash. I'm not using GPT-4 here, so it might not be giving me the most current information, but they do have full royalty-free free images, I believe, at the time that I'm creating this, and they also have premium accounts where you can get access to a better variety of photos as well. I'll usually search Unsplash first. I just have a free account here, and then I'll typically go to Pexels if I can't find a photo on Unsplash. And then I might ask it here too. I might say, great, can you teach me how to use Unsplash with my WordPress blog to optimize my images for SEO? And we'll see what it can come back with. All right, connect your Unsplash account, search and import. I didn't know Unsplash has a WordPress plugin. That's really interesting. I'm not sure if that's a mistake on the part of ChatGPT or me just not knowing that Unsplash has a plugin for it. But it walks through here, and this is the important part, searching for images and how to optimize the image attribute for SEO, and then changing the size of that image as well, which is really awesome. So once again, this was just a quick breakdown in how you can use ChatGPT to learn basically anything you want to. I highly encourage using this frequently in your writing, whether you have a question about, grammar or punctuation. If you need help in proofreading or editing your blog, you can actually copy and paste that into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you proofread and copy edit this and clean up any grammatical errors, punctuation errors, things like that. And then, like I said, once again, this is just a great example of how valuable ChatGPT is as a tool for learning just about anything when it comes to writing and SEO. All right, so a question that new writers give me a lot is, hey, where should I pick up my first clients, especially if I just started writing, just built out my portfolio, I'm just kind of dipping my toes into freelance writing for the first time, where are the best places to go? And my first recommendation is, whether you're really active on social media, moderately active or not, is to start with the network that you know and that knows you. So I would highly recommend going to, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, whatever profiles you're most active on, and letting everybody know there first that you're just kind of jumping into freelance writing, that you understand that a lot of people have writing needs, whether they own their own business or work for another one. Maybe they just need some help with like writing emails or monthly updates, but whatever that might be, there's tons of opportunity in your existing social network for writing. I can't tell you how many times over the last 5+ years, especially, I feel like friends have come to me and be like, hey, Jack, I know that you're into writing. This is something that you do for a living. You've been doing for a while. Could you help me with like phrasing for this report or this email to my boss, or I'm working on a presentation or a script for something or an outline for something. Even phrasing for text message, people will be like, hey, I don't really want to go to this thing or this event. Can you help me write a text or an email to help decline it? And I always gladly say yes. And you'd be surprised how often this can lead to contract work or freelance work, or even referrals from your network to other people who need writers. So one of the things that I was going to show you on here that I think is really important, and again, you can use ChatGPT for, as you could say, I'm just getting into freelance writing for the first time, and I want to let my social network contacts know that I'm open for work. Can you help me write a Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram post to announce that to my friends and followers? So you don't even have to worry about writing it on your own. And it's going to give you some copy ideas right here. Look, it's even creating posts for each individual social media account, changing it up a little. And this is great. And once again, you can use all of the knowledge that you have of ChatGPT up to this point to write and rewrite these. So you could copy and paste this Facebook post in and say, hey, this Facebook post is great, but can you make it more conversational, more casual, more funny? Can you include these specific bits? You can copy and paste your URL or the link to your portfolio and have it add that in there for you, or you can do it manually on social media. And like I said, this is the best place to start with the people that know you, because there's a chance that they or their contacts will know somebody who needs writing. So start here. The second place that I would go after you poll your network, and don't just do this once, by the way, I would say every week or so, post an update. Hey, you're writing, you're open for business. You'd love to help people, even if they just need some consulting, whatever it is. Tell them what you've been working on, what you've been up to. Post that link to your portfolio so they can definitely take a look at your work and some examples. And I would say keep that as an ongoing process, because you never know when somebody in your network is going to need a writer. So I would say, like I said, schedule once a week or every other week, or maybe a couple times a week, depending on how engaging you want to be, and let people know what you're working on, what you're doing, who you've been helping, that you're open for more work, things like that. Because not everybody's going to see your post the first, second, or third time that you post it. Not everybody in your network is going to see it. So you want to make sure that you give them as many opportunities as they can to see it. Now, the next thing you can do, if you find that your immediate social network isn't yielding that much, there are a ton of great writers groups on LinkedIn and Facebook. And you can just go Google the top writer groups, copywriter, content writer, blog writer, SEO groups on Facebook and LinkedIn. And there are a lot of job board groups in there too. So there'll be people posting and saying, hey, I'm full up on work, but I need a writer that can work with so-and-so client in this industry. If you're open for work right now, let me know. So you can jump in on threads like that. A couple pieces of advice I'd have for these groups is don't be spammy, and you don't want to spam your own social network too, letting people know that you're open for business as a writer. So make sure that you provide value to the group. Announce when you come in. Usually groups will have rules where you should come in, tell people about yourself, who you are, what you're looking for, participate, try to learn as much from these other writers as you can. And once again, as always, you can use ChatGPT as your friend in this to guide you. And you could even ask, what are the top groups for writers on Facebook and LinkedIn? And since I'm working off of ChatGPT 3.5 right now, it might not give me the most up-to-date groups here, but you could use these as starting points to go and look through the social network for writing groups that you could jump in and join. So like I said, big things here are be consistent, make sure that you're providing value. That's the biggest thing. Is if you're posting to Facebook in a promotional way, make sure that you're also posting your Facebooks, your LinkedIns, your Twitters in ways that are helpful to others. So if you're learning about writing, reading, writing books, learning from other writers online, make sure that you're posting tips regularly. Like, give people in your social network value that they can take and put into action for themselves as a writer. It'll help you build credibility. And then once they get to the point, if they don't need help with writing work now, if they do in the future, you'll be top of mind because they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that they've been posting a lot about writing. I've been seeing their work and I'm really impressed. And actually I have this client or this friend or this coworker who needs a writer. You will be top of mind for those jobs in the future. And I think that's why building your brand out on social media and posting that you're writing and posting what you're learning is such a big part of getting work in the future. Clients want to see you're active. Your social network wants to see you're active, that you're learning, that you're progressing, and that you're creating writing, and that you're getting paid to do it, because then people will know that you have immediate value to the market. So anyways, take these pieces of advice, start with your social network first, and then if your immediate social network doesn't yield any clients for you, then you can jump into the Facebook and LinkedIn and social media groups out there to get some writing work. Now, I know that we've already talked about different platforms and different places that you can get your new writing clients. In the previous video, we were just talking about that I highly recommend going to your social network and people who know you, or people who know the people that know you first. That's usually the easiest and lowest barrier way to get new clients. But what about other platforms out there? I know we've talked about Upwork, Indeed, LinkedIn. I highly recommend building out your presence, your profile, adding your resume, and definitely your portfolio to those platforms and building them up as much as possible. So that can eventually be a lead magnet and lead generator for your writing business. But I'll just go ahead for the sake of example, type into ChatGPT here, what are the top job sites and freelancing sites for freelance writers? We'll go ahead and ask it. So you have Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr, ProBlogger, FlexJobs, Media Bistro, Guru, and you can keep going and you could say, what are 5 more recommendations? Awesome. And it'll just continue to provide recommendations if you keep asking. It'll probably run out of examples at some point. So this is where I would recommend go next, is go to your job boards, go to your freelance websites. And one of the most important things I will say here, just to make it easier for you on the cold email, proposal end, reaching out to clients, applying to jobs, things like that. One thing that I've found, especially over the last 3 to 4 years, is that the more compelling evidence you put on these profiles that you're a great writer. So portfolio, take a lot of career assessments to show your skills in existing places, get referrals and get reviews and feedback from people on LinkedIn who you've worked with in the past. Those reviews and that social proof is huge for getting more work in the future. Write a really compelling bio and headline for yourself on these platforms. Those things are going to sell your clients and employers and recruiters on you before they even speak to you. And that'll make the conversation so much easier than if they're just kind of going in blind and they're like, okay, I know this person, applied for work for us, but we really don't know that much about him. But if they can really be wowed by your profiles, you'll have that much higher of a likelihood of potentially earning their business. So one thing that I've really been using ChatGPT, Jasper, and my other AI writing software for is helping me optimize my resumes on these platforms. Like, mainly for me, Indeed and LinkedIn, but you can do this for Upwork. You can do this for anything. I actually just recently went through and did this for Upwork. So you can do this, say, can you write me a compelling career bio for Upwork based on my previous job experience? And then just to make this closer to the ballpark of, I'm expecting you maybe have a couple of years experience underneath your belt, or maybe you don't even have a couple years experience. Say I've been working, and we'll go back to our personal finance example. I've been working in finance for 5 years and am just getting into writing in the personal finance space. And let's just see what it can come up with that. That's pretty general, but let's see what it can come up with. Senior finance professional turned professional writer. Awesome. My writing style is clear, concise, and relatable, as I believe. Awesome. So this is a good start here. And then you can go ahead and refine this based on the job listings you see in finance writing on Indeed and Upwork and LinkedIn and wherever you're looking. So you could literally insert, hey, ChatGPT, can you also include these skills? And copy and paste skills that you're seeing in these job listings, as long as you have them, and say, hey, can you also make sure to include these listings? You can also ask it to write you a headline. I feel like LinkedIn headlines, Upwork headlines, like that one sentence statement about yourself is so compelling for companies to look at. And if you can really hit them with a catchy, keyword friendly, gut punchy headline, it's going to help you, catch their eyes, stop them from scrolling, and potentially get their business. So can you use this information to write a compelling and clickable LinkedIn headline for me? Financial professional turned personal finance writer, empowering individuals to take control of their money. So that's a great start. I'd say this is great. Can you give me, let's say, 5 other variations of this headline? See what it can come up with. Awesome. Guiding individuals toward financial empowerment, empowering individuals to take charge of their finances, helping individuals achieve financial success. So this is great. It's a statement about yourself, finance expert turned personal finance wordsmith. Absolutely love that. Empowering individuals to master their money. So right off the bat, who you are, and then second, the value they provide. This is a really nice formula that ChatGPT is working here with. And you could literally go copy and paste this into your LinkedIn, your Indeed, and your Upwork. The other thing that I would highly recommend doing on this, I do have a course on Skillshare about how to use ChatGPT to write your resume and how to write your cover letter for you. I recommend going to check out that course, and in that I'll teach you how you can write your resume and cover letter, not only just for yourself and sending out to companies directly through application portals, but also how you can optimize them for applicant tracking systems. ATS companies use their own software to automatically sift through thousands of employee applications to look for ones that are optimized for certain keywords that they're looking for. So that can give you a tactical advantage in that. Also, you can generate different versions of your resume in a matter of minutes or seconds using ChatGPT. You can create individualized resumes for each one of these platforms as well. So I highly recommend taking that course and using ChatGPT to make your life easier in that way as well. So once you get to the place where you're ready to start taking on work as a writer, I just wanted to show you a couple examples of how you can really quickly and easily use ChatGPT or another writing AI to create cold proposals and pitches for you that are really good. So right now I'm on Upwork.com. This is one of the biggest job and freelancing sites on the web. And I'm just going to go over to jobs to look for availability. And instead of looking for something in a specific niche, I'm just going to do a general search for blog writing. Or wait, let's see what comes up. Okay, blog writing is what populated first. So for blog writers, there's probably a higher amount of search volume going toward this since it's suggested. Let's click on it. And look, there's 676 jobs found for blog writing, content writing, everything else that pops up here. And look at this. We have product review, content writer, entry-level experience. They have an estimated budget of 10. So this is what's interesting. You can scroll this whole page and just look for something that would be comfortable for you. You can see this one right here. Look, if you use AI for this job, you'll not get paid. They clearly haven't heard that AI has taken over and swept the internet, and that you still have to be a good writer and good editor to use AI. What else do we have here? We got expert, entry level. So you can just scroll these listings. And just for example here, I'm going to go, let's go to, we'll just go ahead and pull one of these here. Let's grab this entry level. I don't even know what this is about, but just to show you an example. Maybe not this one just because it's kind of a short description here. Let's go to blog writer right here. Well, I need help on a said topic. Once again, this is shorter. So basically what I'm looking for is a listing that has enough information on it. So this one's got a little more specificity. Looking for a detail-oriented individual to join our team as a WordPress content publisher. Okay, so we've got responsibilities. We've got requirements here if you're passionate about WordPress and content creation. We have an hourly listed here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it and I'm going to ask ChatGPT, can you write a work proposal for this listing on Upwork? And then just put a colon, put this in quotes, and it's going to go to work. Proposal for WordPress content publisher position. Hope this message finds you well. I'm writing to express my interest in this WordPress content publisher position at the space for company name. So you can see in a few seconds it was able to draw up a proposal or application letter for here. So it even included my proposed approach to this role includes, and it even bullets out the things that they included in that job listing. My qualifications for this role specifically addresses this. So if they're using any kind of applicant tracking system or scanner, or even if they have somebody just manually going through these Upwork applications, they'll notice that you had attention to detail, which is something that they look for, and that you specifically addressed each part of this role and your qualifications for it. So this is a really quick and easy way to streamline applications for certain clients and jobs. And you could do the same thing on a platform like Indeed. So I could go here and let's just go for a general search. Let's go blog writer, looking for remote positions, and go search. Once again, this is on Indeed.com. Okay, so we got freelance legal blog writer, content writer, editor, freelance writer, freelance content writer. Let's just click on this, tectonic marketing. Okay, so this is contract work. We have all this here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take from contract so it knows that it's contract work from there up. And then I would go back to ChatGPT and say, can you write an application / proposal letter catered to this specific contract writing job listing on Indeed.com. Quotes, put it in quotes, close it out, and then once again, let ChatGPT go to work for you. And once again, it's going to address the specific requirements in this role. It's going to talk about your strengths. And if, this is going to be kind of general here, you can have ChatGPT include like, hey, these are some of my wins in addressing the specific space. You can copy and paste specific wins from bullets on your resume. You can also say, if you want to make it more conversational, make it stand out, say, this is great. Can you make a more conversational version? And it'll go ahead and do that for you. So to apply for the freelance writer position, I've been drawn to dynamic world of marketing. So what I might even do is say, this is awesome. Can you make a humorous, catching introduction to hook the reader into reading the rest of this letter? Let's see if it changes it up. Find your way with your coffee, cup full of creativity flowing. Why? Because I've got an exciting proposition for you. I want to bring my wordsmithing skills and infectious enthusiasm. So that's great. So you could even just keep tweaking it and giving ChatGPT different inputs. Like I said, you can have it change the bullets of what you're bringing to the table. You can have it change up the intro to make it different. You can have it change the format from what it's got here. If you want to go do your own research on the side about this company that's hiring, say, I think the name of the company was Tektronic. So address this to the company. And I don't know if this is going to be the right spelling, but just to show you, it can include this in your Tektronic. And it'll go ahead and create another draft. So this is what I would do just until you get the draft that you want to send over to them. You can quickly iterate multiple different drafts that you could send over to an employer or a client using ChatGPT. Now, keep in mind that these pieces of AI writing software like ChatGPT, Jasper, Copy AI, whichever you choose to write with, are really just unbelievable tools for letting you create a portfolio from scratch in record time, launching your own freelance writing business on the side, whatever it may be. But you'll still notice that since this is, at the time I'm creating this, still during kind of the early adoption phase of AI tools, there are still companies that are opposed to people using them. And regardless of whether it takes these companies time or not to realize that everybody is going to be using these in every industry just because of how compelling and powerful they are, how fast they are, as you've already seen in this course, and their ability to scale a business or your content marketing, whatever that may be. Personally, as a writer and somebody who's been doing this for well over a decade, I still think that you need writing and editing and proofreading skills, because those are going to help you tap into consumer psychology, help you write better sales letters, make you a better and stronger proofreader and editor, help keep things concise, keep things punchy, write better marketing and sales copy. all of these different things. Even though these AI writers basically put you more in the editor's seat and that you're kind of coaching it to write the outputs that you need for something, you still need, I believe, the writing skills to learn how to speak to this and coach it. And so just like we've used ChatGPT for learning and some creation things in the past, I figured I might as well use this to cover how you could create your own learning program to help level up your writing skills, because I truly believe you do need these skills to make a successful career as a freelance writer, or if you just want to even do this as a hobbyist in the future to work on your writing skills. So I might say I'm an aspiring freelance writer. So give it some context of who you are. Can you give me a lesson plan and some book recommendations that will, no, I spelled the recommendations wrong here, excuse me, that will help me level up my skills in these areas? And let's just tell it content writing, blog writing, SEO, digital marketing, copywriting, sales writing. Give it a lot of keywords to work with here, and let's see what it can give you. SEO fundamentals and the principles of search engine optimization. So it wrote out a lesson plan here. It gave us 10 book recommendations, which is awesome. I've actually read, gosh, I think quite a few of these on here, and some I will add to my reading list. These are some of the most recommended books I've seen for most writers. And then even though this is a basic lesson plan here, so it says introduction to content writing and blog writing, understand the basics of content writing and blog writing. So we could just take this first bullet here and say, can you teach me, let's say, to understand the basics of content writing and blog writing. Awesome. And so then you can just treat this like you're having a conversation with somebody who is a content writing or blog writing expert. And you can go through and once again have it detail on each of these bullets. So define your target audience. Before you start writing, identify your target audience, understand their demographics, interests, and pain points will help you tailor your content to their needs and preferences. So that's awesome. So here we could go define our target audience. Let's go back to the personal finance example. Say, I am a writer and I need to create a marketing and writing plan for reaching my target audience. They're, let's say, 25 to 34, mostly male skewed, or let's just say, let's just keep it open to male and female. 25 to 34 millennials are in college debt and potentially credit card debt. They've never gotten into personal finance, in the past, and are starting from scratch. Help me learn more about my audience and the best ways to reach them as a marketing writer. So check this out. This is going to give us a detailed plan for creating kind of like psychographic demographic data on our audience. Conduct demographic research to understand the characteristics of your target audience, such as their age, educational background, explore the pain points. So this is so this is your new learning portal that's going to teach you how to do research on that audience. So for example, you could use the next bullet, set clear goals, determine the purpose of your content. So you could define goals for your content and say, hey, can you create, email headlines or blog ideas or something based on these goals? You can ask it to teach you, like, let's say, how would I go about conducting research on my target audience? List some online tools that I could use. Let's see what it'll come up with here. Online surveys, social media insights. This is one of the first places that I was going to recommend, is you can build out advertising audience on social media without even having to run or pay for an ads campaign. Keyword research tools like Google Keyword Planner. This is something we've talked about in the past. You can always look for frequently asked questions on Reddit and Quora to do some investigation there. industry reports and research, Pew Research Center and Statista. These are things that I'll use. So once again, if you want to build out an entire learning program for yourself to become the best writer possible, you can start your journey in ChatGPT. You can ask for course recommendations, book recommendations. If you see a term that's used or a type writing you want to get into, you could say, hey, can you help me become a better social media ad copywriter? And you could create basically your entire curriculum and learn straight from ChatGPT around this. So once again, understand your audience, keep it concise, focus on the benefits, use powerful headlines, incorporate emotional appeal. So you're basically, I mean, this just shows you how powerful these AI writing tools like ChatGPT are. Like normally you'd have to go do all your research online, read from a lot of writers, keep going back and forth to the search engine between blogs and videos on YouTube and all this stuff. And you can learn directly in ChatGPT, this piece of software, on how to become a really incredible and compelling writer. So I would say go ahead and do this. Outline one day a week or a couple hours a week to just block out and punch in different prompts like this in ChatGPT to learn for yourself and keep molding yourself in your edification and growth as a writer. So thanks for taking this course. Now you have all of the tools, all of the skills, all of the resources, and all the software you need to successfully launch your own freelance writing business or segue into your own freelance writing career. Whether you want to use this as a career changer or just to make some extra money on the side or potentially just push your skills to the next level to help advance you in the workplace, I'm so thankful that you took this course on writing. Writing has changed my career and so many others out there. So I just wanted to sincerely say thank you for taking this course. Stay posted for updates. I'll be adding more videos as we go along. Technology in this industry is changing all the time, and so I want to keep updating this course with what's going on, new tools, tips, tricks, gadgets, and software that you can be using to advance your freelance writing career. So once again, thank you, and good writing out there. I'll see you soon. Hey everyone, just wanted to say again, thank you so much for taking this course. And as another special thank you, I wanted to let you know that we have all of these great bonus materials here for you at the end to help you launch your ChatGPT or AI freelance writing business. We've got prompts, we've got a free ebook for helping you choose your niche. I have a supporting website that'll help you just become a better writer and sharpen your writing skills, marketing, SEO, more clickable headline templates, viral blog post templates, and then even a freelance writing target income calculator to help you get on your way toward your goals. Enjoy these and keep me posted on your progress.